let me show you around my last trip in Poland. We started visiting Goniądz, a small town born around the railway sector and crossed by the Biebrza River. It has a lovely park with a gazebo equipped for huge barbecues and a very picturesque and funny shaped sauna. Goniądz is surrounded by nature, among which vast and green wet meadows are definitely the kings, extending as far as the eye can see. We then went to Mońki, where almost every house had charming gardens full of either flowers or fruits or vegetables. Most of those houses had a very characteristic cubic shape, and in some neighborhoods, the buildings were painted in a unique way, with the name of the street and their number in a huge format. The public schools were unbelievably well equipped with running tracks, beach volley courts, and much more. Another captivating thing was the edge of the city, which was limited by the start of a leafy forest with gigantic trees. On our second day there, we went to a wedding, where we enjoyed local food of great quality and I could discover some Polish traditions. The third day started raining, but fortunately the sky cleared up quickly, so we could do as planned and spend an outdoorsy day amongst Podlasie, aka the lungs of Poland. We visited the Biebrza National Park, which has wooden paths that connect the many viewpoints contained in it. From one of those, it's possible to go off track and cross a few fences to get a glimpse of what Poland went through during the last century, a history kept untold by the Osowiec Fortress, which witnessed many battles during both world wars, including the famous Attack of Death Men. The landscape was breathtaking and totally overtaken by nature by now, but knowing that all those holes and hills were once created by bombs and grenades inevitably brought some bitter thoughts to our minds. Our next stop was Tykocin. This town has a castle where battle recreations happen yearly to commemorate how it was retaken back on the 17th century after a Swedish invasion. The city also has an impressive reconstructed synagogue, hidden inside a simple building. Its walls were covered in Hebrew inscriptions and it hosts an exposition about the Jewish culture and religion. For lunch we went to a dvór, which are restaurants in the middle of the forest that used to be manor houses of Polish nobles. They are usually wooden, serve traditional food and use folkloric decoration. We spent our fourth day in Białystok. There, we visit the Branicki Palace, which faces an astonishing French-style garden and it's surrounded by a huge park filled by big trees and wildlife. This palace is the reason why Białystok is known as the Polish Versailles. Our next stop was one of the most eye-catching churches of the city. The St. Roch's Church is also a symbol of the Polish independence after the First World War, since building a church there was denied several times by the previous Tsarist authorities. But it was finally done once Poland became independent again. Another known landmark of the city is the Constitution of May 3 Park, which has very funny looking chickens, bears, wolves, bisons and many more animals. It also contains a military cemetery and is maintained keeping human intervention to a minimum. Signs with information about how and why that is done are spread all around the park.